Bill, one of the things that about studying leadership is that sometimes I think we study too much just about how we lead. Every leader is, in fact, both a leader and a follower. I think you would agree with me. And that the chancellor of the University of Texas has a board of trustees, the CEO has a board of directors, the teacher has a principal, and the principal has a superintendent. And we play two roles all the time. And good leadership has a lot to do with good followership. And I'm wondering, when you're hiring your management team, what do you expect from those that follow? Because it certainly isn't blind obedience.
Now, I would offer there's probably two aspects of this. You're exactly right. In order to be a good leader, you are going to have to be a good follower, because none of us are not accountable to somebody. I mean, everybody is accountable to somebody, whether it's personally or professionally. And you find that, I have found that the really good leaders understand how to be accountable to the men and women that are above them in a way that doesn't undermine the company they're working for. A lot of times the CEO or the board of directors or the board of the regents, may make a decision that you as the subordinate don't think was a good decision. Now you have kind of two choices. You can roll your eyes, you can slow roll them, you can try to undermine them because you don't agree with that, or you make your concerns known however you can, but then you've got, as we say in the military, you got to salute smartly and move out. The expectation that I always had from the men and women that worked for me was, feel free to challenge my decision and challenge my plan up to the point when we finally make the final decision. So, when I would have a meeting of my senior staff or the senior enlisted men, and I'd roll out a plan we were going to try to execute, I expected them, I demanded them to critique the plan, because I told them, look, if you think we're doing something wrong and you don't tell me, and then the plan fails because that part of the plan wasn't executed well, I'm going to hold you responsible. So if you think something's wrong, you better tell me. Now, at the end of the day, as the leader, it's going to be your decision to execute that plan one way or the other. But once you have made the decision, that's when I think it is important for the people to follow you to accept it as their own. It's hard to do. It's hard to do if you don't agree with the decision, but that's what good followership is about. Again, as the leader, as the CEO, as the commanding officer, you have to make sure that your staff feels like they truly have an opportunity and an expectation from the boss that they're going to critique them, that the boss has tough skin, that he wants to hear the truth spoken to him or her. But then again, once the decision is made, everybody needs to kind of get on board and move out. That's the way the units I've worked with and for work best.
I love the term you demanded that they do that. It's very difficult to speak truth to power. I mean,
it is. So what you have to do is you've got to set the conditions so that your staff understands that no kidding, you're not just saying that, you truly want to hear it. I took every opportunity I could when I was newly in command, and whether that was in the military or at the University of Texas system, to tease out a little bit of the staff members by, frankly, throwing something out there that I knew was probably, not in the best interests of the unit, and trying to find out who would say, I'm sorry, boss, that's really not a good idea. And then being able to say, well, you know what, you're right. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Let's shelve that for the time being. And when the staff and when the people that worked for you realized that you were approachable, that you were being sincere and wanting to know exactly, what ground truth was, then they were so much more willing to come to you. Because if you create an environment where the men and women that work for you are afraid to talk to you, are afraid to speak truth to power, boy, you will get yourself in a bind quickly. You will not know what's going on at the lower levels, and you are asking for trouble. If you create an environment where the men and women that work for you feel like they can speak to you in a way that is comfortable and confidential and respectful, boy, that's the mark of a great organization, I think, and a great leader.